I want to do it because it's fun. It's fun to do bad things. To drive into a car.
Well, did you know that you could perhaps kill somebody?
Yes, but I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
The eMilitia Podcast, Episode 12. POG Actual Low-Do Militia. Enjoy, fuckers.
All right, what's up, everybody? It's the eMilitia here. Well, most of us anyway. I'd like to start this eMilitia. I'd like to start this podcast by saying Anglo libertarian sucks. And I think we're just gonna probably end up spending the entire podcast talking about how he sucks. And why? Because he's not here. So it's now 11 p.m. where I am, and we just started recording because we're stupid and we don't know what the fuck we're doing. And we had to hire a Fed to record us, which apparently they do for free. But anyway, on to lighter things. We have a guest with us.
Second.
A guest with us by the name of POG Actual. Sounds rather exotic. I'd like to know where he comes from. Anyway, he's gonna give us his origin story, why he's like this, why he's like us, and then we're gonna talk about whatever we want because it's our podcast.
Nice.
So I hope you like it. All right, so POG Actual.
Yes, sir.
What's up?
What's going on? Hey, everyone, I'm POG Actual. I am the sole admin at POG Actual on Instagram.
You may have heard of him. It's kind of a small
You might
page,
have.
but you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal.
I try not to let it go to my head too much. I guess we can start out like how I ended up with this political outlook. I suppose you would say I'm a collapsitarian.
Oh shit.
Yeah. At this point, it's, to me, I feel like we should have all our rights or they can get bent in the worst way.
Okay. And that is
because we've been getting, our rights have been getting fucked for the last
243
years.
Yeah.
So,
since day one.
for r
We have
/
been
explain to me
steadily
like in
losing
5,
rights.
if you think we don't have all of our rights, you think we should ban rights until society inevitably says, okay, that's enough, and then starts lighting fires.
More or less, yes.
Right.
It's kind of a grim outlook, but
Yeah. Collapsitarians are a crazy bunch.
yeah.
I mean, damn. All
I mean,
right.
I can relate.
I'm just sick of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think. Well, you know what? Honestly,
we all
dude, I
are.
think the closer we get to a collapse, the more people will become collapsitarians.
Right. Well, we're in the fast lane heading towards the collapse at
We
this
are.
moment.
We're definitely closer.
It's
Quickly.
inevitable.
Absolutely. Oh, but wait, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
How did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, how did you get here?
Well, let's see.
What's your background? What
Yeah, your origin story. You're like, where does
Well, my origin.
Where does originate?
I
Yeah.
come
what were
from.
your, what were your parents like? Go full therapist.
Just go ahead and
Right,
send your
no.
resume.
Right.
Actually, if you don't want to talk about it.
I will email it to you.
Okay.
My father, I come from a military family. Everybody in my family has served, including myself, because we're all a bunch of fucking idiots, apparently. My father's a neocon. My grandmother was a Democrat, and I feel like the more I think about it, my grandfather was a libertarian. I wish I'd paid attention to that old man more because I relate to him more than my father.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're born in
100%.
like 1790, you're probably going to be pretty libertarian.
Well, close. 89. I don't know. I really didn't get into politics until I took a government class in high school, and I really didn't understand it. I was like, what? Okay, I understand that communism is bad. I don't understand the dichotomy of the mainstream political parties in America, because I was naive, and I felt like we're all Americans. We should all be on the same side, right? Well, no, of course not.
Not allowed anymore. Tribalism since, the Federalists and the other fuckers.
Right, and it's not even you can't even have a conversation about it anymore. You're either far right or far left, apparently.
Yeah, that's about how it seems.
I mean, we're all white supremacist mass shooters now, but
Whoa,
Just
for legal
fitting the bill.
reasons. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Oh, don't be a pussy. I can't look.
Nope.
I've been calling people out left and right for that.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
Ooh. All right.
Anyway, we'll get to that. So, Grandpa was a libertarian. When did that first? Like, when did you first hear that word? That's a good.
Well, he never said it, but
Yeah, just in
he-
thought process and.
yeah, like I was a kid when Clinton was president, and he didn't really like him. But then Bush came into office, and we started invading Iraq, and my grandpa was like, "This is fucking retarded." So my grandpa was flying our American flag upside down, and my dad,
man.
Mr.
Yeah.
Recon Marine, was like, "Oh hell no!"
Fuck
It was a
yeah.
huge fight. He was
What a
like, "We're
fucking
not in
legend.
distress. We have to go kick Iraq's ass."
So, was he pissed at you when you when did you sign up? If you don't mind me asking, like roughly.
It was 2009. I'm coming up. Like, if I had stayed in, I'd be 10 years.
Oh, okay. And what branch? Army.
Like the Army. I was an Army MP, so I was the cops. Believe it or
You're
not.
the worst. The worst of the worst.
Yeah, this is the. I know. Look, man.
So-
I'm living proof that you can wake up.
Thank fuck.
No,
Like-
man, I'm just fucking with
We're
you.
not
I've
all
been
goddamn
following you.
zombies.
I've been following.
So what?
you.
You're unfollowing me now? That's cool.
No, man. I'm just saying. I've been following you since before I started this account. I used to follow you on like all my weed accounts, like. back
no
in the-
shit?
like, yeah, dude, for a long time. Like
when I was a shit posting account. Well, I guess I
Yeah.
still am.
yeah, well,
like
no,
back
you
when I
were-
was just
you-
sharing
no, when it was
raunchy
full-on
memes.
shitposting. Yeah.
Now it's high level shit posting.
Right. It's all low effort memes and just inciting sort of
Once you have
violence, I
merch and
suppose.
a following, it's official.
Right.
You're a
Someone said I had a
personality
cult.
now. I mean,
Someone said I have a
think
cult. I think it was
we all
Vona.
do. We all do in some way, but you got your Boujadine boys.
Oh yeah, the Bujadine. That's a fun word. That's catching on now.
I dig
It's
it.
spread to some of the larger pages, and I don't know how I feel about it because I'm kind of punk, and I'm like,
I
it
mean,
has to be eclectic.
Oh, yeah.
My shit has to be eclectic.
somewhere
everybody
it's
to know
like
about
written
it.
down in a file at the NSA. They're like, we don't know what this Boujadine is, but we're definitely concerned about it. We don't like it.
Right? It sounds like
So-
Mujahideen.
So did you lose friends when you made the switch from being
Oh man,
in
I
Vietnam
have.
to
Yes.
being awake?
Yes, a lot of my friends are cops now. They all got out. And a lot of them are cops,
Are they still
and they
your
follow
friends?
me. Well, they follow me.
Damn, they follow you.
Yeah, but they don't talk to me anymore. They just follow. They creep.
They fucking report is what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay, when red flag laws hit, you're gonna be like the first.
Dude,
Oh.
what like but
Pull
like
up, bitch. That's what this whole
What-
thing is about.
what makes that happen, man? Like what makes dudes transition from like
That's a good question.
from
Yeah.
s- like like I mean I get how guys get disillusioned into the military and the industrial. I get how that happens, but what I don't get is like how the guys that like really meant to do it about freedom and about helping our country and our like fellow American, how do they come home and become cops? Like that's just like fucking
Culture.
It's always
I
blowing my
really
mind,
believe
man.
it's the culture that we live in. This hero worship bullshit. My thin blue line. They just want the recognition, the attaboys.
Yeah, the uniform, the
Right.
badge, the medals,
respect.
the rank.
The respect.
And then they also kind of want to be the victim when shit goes down. They're like, "But I'm a cop, and you can't do that."
I just want to go home to my family.
That's exactly what it is, man. It's an extension of the victimhood culture, if not like the birth of the victimhood culture. You know?
100%. Because I kind of fell into some brovet bullshit when I got out. And
What do you mean, brovet?
Okay, do you know the guys at like Black Rifle Coffee?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's like what a brovet is. A kind of neocon,
Like just
tattooed
like
guns,
the personality is
Like a
better.
3%er?
No.
It's more like war's a big adventure, and like
Right.
fuck yeah, that was awesome, and that's me for the rest of my life, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Like
Call
I
of
have to get
Duty.
out of that military mentality. Like I served, fuck you, you owe me something.
Yeah,
Yeah. Gross.
That's what it is.
they're
Yeah,
like
it's
these
disgusting.
big
Okay,
man
so-
men who need recognition
basically,
every hour of the day.
basically, you came a really long way because you were a
I
total
did.
piece of shit, and
I
now
was,
you're,
yes, not that long
pretty
ago.
decent.
So we skipped over a big important chunk of the story.
Yeah,
So you go in, presumably with like neocon ideas, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and so at what point did that shift? Like it was during your enlistment, right?
Yes. I can remember the one time I really started thinking about it. Some kid in Afghanistan came up to me. He was probably 17. He was educated though. He spoke some pretty good English and was like, "So, why are you here?" And I didn't have an answer. I was like, "We're here to give you
Invade your
schools
country.
and safety." And he's like, "No, but why are you here?" I'm like, I don't have an answer for you, dude. So once I realized, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here besides trying to kill motherfuckers and keep these people safe and educated. Like, what are we doing? Why do we have to do that? Why is that our responsibility?
Every soldier needs
Yeah.
a 17-year-old Afghan kid.
For real. That was
wake them up.
That was a wake up call, and that was 2010. I'd been in the army 6 months or longer.
Oh, damn.
Right at the start, you're like, fuck me.
Oh yeah,
Your
dude.
fir-
I got out of basic training. I went to basic training in September, got out in February, deployed in May for the long haul, the 12-monther. So
Sick.
it was at that point I was
Well,
like,
that sucks.
oh, I really don't have an answer. I don't know what the hell we're doing here. So
Okay, well, this is fucking sad. So
that's
it
a
is.
hell of a way to start an enlistment.
now I'm supposed to be like
So now you have this
with
question
purpose.
in your head, and it's digging at you.
Right.
What did you do to figure out why you're there? What moved you on past that?
Oh, I just kind of thought about the people next to me. That's all I could do because the cause was retarded.
Yeah.
The big
Just
picture is
start getting
stupid.
out.
So while you're there, all you can do is care about the people next to you.
which I've heard a lot of people say. Like
Brotherhood-
even in like
the Brotherhood
even
is
in
what it's
stupid
all
ass
about.
movies.
I mean-
Yeah, that's like I've heard like once that first bullet flies past your head, it's all about the guy next to you, politics and all that shit goes straight out the window. Like I'm pretty sure that's more or less a direct quote from Black Hawk Down. But
It is, yeah.
yeah, like
but realistically, though, that makes more sense than a lot of other things, though, and like that's.
but that's
like,
still
if
a
you put-
bad reason to be somewhere. Oh my god.
You're there.
Absolutely.
You're already
right.
there. Like
Right. So
Look at
now
this
what can you
douche.
do?
Look at this
Oh man,
douche.
Anglo?
Yeah.
Oh my
Holy
god,
shit.
man. This is all
All
your
right, all
fault.
right.
No. Get out.
What's going on?
he's blocked.
You
All
had
right.
enough.
All right. For context, Anglo was meant to record this episode, but he passed the fuck out and left it in the hands of.
No,
left
I
it in-
got the times completely wrong. I don't know if daylight
sucks.
savings time has changed or if I've gone completely retarded.
Bro, you are 4 hours
The
off.
latter. The latter. Certainly the latter.
Okay, well, at least we know.
What
All
time?
right.
I mean, what time did you think we were in fucking Japan, bro? Like, what the hell?
Well, basically.
All right.
No.
Anyway, Pogue is in the middle of his heart wrenching story, so catch up and
My
shush.
bad. All right. It's
So
good to see you. By the way, we have a Fed bot recording us now because
you've been replaced by artificial intelligence.
Oh,
we're all
wow.
we're just
Times
that
are bad.
dumb. Yeah. It also took us
Hold
2
on, hold
hours
on.
to set up.
Hold on
So
1 second.
Okay, so I'm not actually that late then, I take it.
While we got this stopped, Pogue, real quick, like, if you don't mind me asking, like, about how old are you?
I'm about 30.
Okay, cool. Like, dude, like, your story sounds really similar to a lot of, like, I have a little brother that's about your age, I imagine. And, like, he was, like, in a similar, like, similar scenario. And it's like, I'd be really, I guess, like, what was your opinion when you got home? Like, how did it feel, like, when you started to, like, I guess, like, when it all, you said you realized the cause was bullshit. But, like,
First deployment in.
yeah, like, when did it really hit you that, like, no, man, like, it was all bullshit? Like, the whole fucking thing was
Not
bullshit.
actually, it didn't really hit me until recently because I've kind of just like stowed that away.
yeah, I mean, you said you
'Cause
were
it's
a
pretty
bro
heavy.
vet, so obviously you were still at
Yeah.
least somewhat buying into that shit.
Right, yeah, it was pretty
Compartmentalize
heavy.
that a
And
little
I've only
bit,
recently
kinda.
like come to terms with it. This page has helped me. When I found whiskey and I found out he was in the army too and he has these ideas and I was like, well, I'm not alone, so that's cool.
Thank fuck.
Dude,
Right.
I have a lot of my little brother's buddies that, like, it hit them fucking really hard when they got home and, like, they realized, like, it was all, the whole thing was a fucking, like, and this is like when we all started putting shit together and, yeah, it's just, dude, I feel, I mean, I guess I have experience with guys that did it. Like, I'm like just maybe just a little older than you. And, like, shit, man, like, I watch, like, guys just change, like, and it's just like you never get that back. Like, you never, I guess just it just fucking sucks, man. There's a whole generation of dudes that feel the same way as you. It's just crazy
Right.
that so many guys end up thinking that they're alone, and, like, it's, dude, you, like, yeah, almost every guy I talk to that's, like, out and away from it has a lot of the same sentiments as you. But anyways, back to you, dude. I'm sorry.
It's all right, it's cool. I appreciate that. I kind of relate it to like there's this culture where we hero worship cops and the military especially, and if you don't support the troops, you're a fucking communist piece of shit. I think it's hard for a lot of guys to see through that and just kind of accept like, hey, we were over there for some stupid ass reason and not because the Taliban or Al Qaeda hates our freedom. I got to be honest, no Taliban or Al Qaeda signed the fucking Patriot Act. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, they really fucking won.
right, yeah. So if they hate us for our freedom and they took it, we've already lost. So what are we doing?
Yeah.
We've totally
we
lost.
defeated ourselves. if they were even our real enemy to begin with, they defeated us. But it's
all the while
obviously
pretending that we're
much
winning.
messier picture. Yep. Made ourselves so safe.
Yeah, it's the last 20 years have been the most bullshit propaganda I think we've ever seen in America. I don't know. Maybe you guys think of something else. Maybe Vietnam, but
Yeah,
we've been in the Middle East fighting the GWAT for more than we were fighting the Vietnam War. Well, the U.S. involvement anyway. The Vietnam War itself was going on for fucking 20 years before we got there.
Something I realised the other day is more Americans have died in Afghanistan than did in 9/11. So how the fuck was the invasion of Afghanistan somehow avenging 9/11 when it spilled more blood than that event to begin with?
Right, and it surpassed that 10 years ago.
Doubled our death toll.
It was just a way to bump up enlistment numbers, false flag to bump up enlistment numbers, and get everyone jacked up to go defend some opium and oil, you know, like, but none of us saw that when that happened, man. Like I was a junior in high school, and like, I mean, if it weren't for, I mean, a couple things, like honestly, a couple things like that kept me from going. I remember, and I know how you get sucked into that shit. You know, like
it's really easy. It was really easy for me to get sucked into it too, because my whole family served. My grandfather was in the Air Force. My dad was a Marine. Uncles were Army and a Marine. So it was super easy for me to just be like, okay, they went to war. This is my war, and I have to go.
Yep, I had that same thing growing up as a military kid.
Yeah,
Like you just think this is my war now. This is my turn, and this is what we're doing. Like no, I'm gonna go and do this. It's like, oh, this is the objective for me. And it's fucking turn-based shit that you get into your head with that kind of the way we're programmed to think we have that is our purpose because our parents did it before us. Like,
you know what? You and I were raised to do it for the crown, not our freedom.
That's the really sick. That's the really fucked up thing.
Well, see, I was discouraged from enlisting, and I should have listened. But I mean, it is what it is. My grandfather, especially, really didn't want me to go when
I fucking bet.
The invasion of Iraq happened. My grandpa and my dad had gotten into it, and he was like, Bush is going to take us into this war, and we're going to be there forever, and your son is going to be fighting this fucking war. And I was like,
no shit.
You're crazy, Grandpa. This should be over next week.
Home before Christmas.
Yeah, that was 2003. I was in the 7th grade, and then I was enlisting at 19, turning 20. So
just conveyor belt war. Dad comes home, time to send the son.
Perpetual. And what's crazy is we've been in this war so long now that kids that don't even remember 9/11 are there. Like,
Yep.
And if they weren't motivated before, if troops weren't motivated before, having remembered 9/11, they're not. They're like, well, big deal, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
I got a couple kids born after 9/11, and the oldest had considered going into the military. And I'm sure if I would have backed her up and yeah, it's great, freedom, everything, she would have went right the fuck in, free college, it's great for your future, it looks good on a resume. Yeah, I had to tell her straight up. I'm like, no, that's not what you want to do.
Right. There's morality issues.
I'm just gonna work on the equipment that bombs the kids. And I'm like, you don't see the correlation of that?
Right. I heard you talking about that in the last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of morality issues.
All right.
And even just being a support unit, like I wasn't infantry. I wasn't like leading the spear, the invasion. But I did patrol and I did get into some firefights, and I don't know, man. It's just a gigantic pain in the ass.
Well,
I should have listened to my grandpa, man. Hey, hindsight's 2020, though, right?
Did that pop into your head like first time you saw some shit go off? You listen to grandpa.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why the fuck am I here?
I could have been at home, not doing this bullshit. Doing literally anything else.
Fucking hell.
And by then, by the time you had your first firefight, you already knew you weren't there for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was fighting the Afghan Boogaloo and I was on the wrong end.
That's whoever said that last time, I think guns, but that's I'd never thought of it like that because I was still, I'm still even today sifting through the last bits of indoctrination I got in my head, and I'd never considered it that way. These kids,
we invaded them. They're fighting an invading force. That's exactly what they're doing.
They're in the middle of their boogaloo, and it's fucking long-winded. And we just keep sending kids, and they just keep on growing up and getting radicalized, of course, to fight the invader.
Right.
and
the longer we stay, the older the kids get. They're just fighting generations.
Yeah.
On top of generations who have already been at war, they were at war for 10 years with the Russians before we showed up.
Yeah, hard fuck.
Oh yeah.
And then they're like, oh yeah.
Well, no, we were there.
Yeah, trained and supplied by yours truly.
Our own Bouchardine against the Russians.
Right. Doing the same shit to us.
Yep.
I wonder if they have a TM, like a field manual. Like
Oh no, they do. I've seen them on the internet. Like, yeah, they got all kinds of field manuals. How to worship and how to make a bomb in the same manual.
Lit. Well, that was all. That was all a bit less fun than I was hoping for, but I'm glad it happened either way.
Oh well, I really skipped the 2008 election.
Oh no, we're not done with you yet. We're moving on. All right, so now you're shooting people in Afghanistan.
No, that's it.
Get
Yeah,
out.
you can go home.
You get out. How are you working with life? Like you're getting a job. You're not in the government's hands anymore.
No, dude, I own a house and I have a job and I have this page.
I mean, but you were able to come right out of the military, do that, just say, you know what, I'm not doing the military thing. I'm getting a job.
Oh yeah.
And then at some point in there, you're coming to the realization that you're a classitarian.
Oh, that's very recent. That's within last year or so.
So you were just a neocon?
Like all the way through your enlistment?
Up until... No, I started considering myself a libertarian probably 6 months after I got out of Afghanistan. So I was still in the army and I was paying attention to what Obama was doing with the Affordable Health Care Act, and I was like, this is fucking bullshit. You can't force people to buy something.
No, that was my biggest.
What the hell kind of shit is that? So that's when I was like, well, I don't care who tells me I have to buy it, Republican or Democrat. I'm not going to roll like that.
Absolutely. So we've fucked around with your timeline all over the place here. Was there?
No.
did you have a point during your enlistment where you're like, well, the left and right are both bullshit, or were you sort of like, because it was during the Obama era, were you firmly sort of like, well, the left is fucking nuts, and not really considering the right yet?
Yeah. It's like I had an idea that the right wasn't all that because I kind of knew about the shit that Ronald Reagan did with gun control then.
Oh, so you were aware of all that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah, vaguely. I mean, I understood that he banned owning machine guns made after 1986. I got that. And then I didn't understand the Mulford Act until recently, until I got into contact with Men of Arms on Instagram. But but being a libertarian, it was like 2011. But I was.
So how'd you come across?
Mostly a neocon, I guess. What? Say again.
Like how'd you come across the term libertarian for the first time? Was that around that time, or was it later?
I think I associated libertarian with neoconism. It must have been right at the time that the Affordable Health Care Act was like in Congress.
Kind of like an offshoot of the Tea Party.
Right, yeah, exactly. And I was like, I don't really consider myself a Republican because my dad's a Republican. He's kind of an asshole. So, yeah.
Is there a party of assholes?
Right. Is it just a party of hypocrites? Probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So at least libertarianism was more cohesive to me.
Yeah. And so, was there any other major points during your military career where you were like, anything else clicked, or was it only until like when you got out after?
Yeah, it was when I got out. After Trump was elected, I was like, wow, this is fucking crazy. Because when our choices are Trump or Hillary, I'm like, both these people suck. It's It's a shit sandwich and a soggy shit sandwich. Like, do we have to eat the shit? Can we just pass? Like, it wasn't.
And as we've seen, sweet fucking Christ, we should have. Maybe we should have gone for soggy shit. I don't fucking know.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
I think if Hitler got elected, at least maybe the fucking
Go for
neocons would be on
collapse.
our side instead of sucking Trump's dick.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's insane. Like, you get a red guy stands up in front of you and says, "We need red flag laws because criminals are dangerous." And it's like, yeah, fucking good one, mate. You are our leader. Blue guy stands up and says that shit. You're gonna be like, "Fucking tyrant. We need to get the rope." If you're like a typical neocon, they'd be saying that shit if Obama said that. But no.
Right. Yeah.
And
They
of
just
course,
ride the party lines instead of riding their principles.
and I think the thing is, these days, no one understands that principles can be separated from a political party. Like, you cannot be individual of a party. We are that much. We are that far into tribalism.
Yeah, most people are like that.
And
it's frustrating too. Like I can't. I deal with that all the time. I got people coming in like, "You shit on Trump, but he's so great." What has he done that's great? Well, the economy. Well, the economy is about to take a shit.
Yeah, it's on crippled, shaking legs with piss dribbling down it. This is not going to last.
That's a fair analysis.
that's as far as my economics go. I'll leave the rest to you, Ang.
Stop it dribbling piss.
I'm just here to paint a picture.
I've had people look at me when I say that and just call me stupid as fuck.
Like, all right, man.
I'm like, really? No, it's great. The economy is awesome. Trump's the best.
I feel like we could look back through history and just see the timeline of how the market goes.
Well, no, they're not going to look back.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
not like it's a new thing.
No,
not new.
They're just picking up Trump's dribblings, you know.
Right. They've got
it's going so great now. This will last forever.
I think it's going to take a shit in October.
October?
Yeah.
Great.
I don't need that.
More gold.
I think it'll hold out past retails, but it's gonna go fucking. Yeah, it's going. It's already going.
I think they might find a way to make it past the election. I don't know how, but they're gonna try.
I don't know, man.
Propped up and stuck together with band-aids.
I'm gonna guess there's gonna be a war before the election.
I don't know if it's going to take a big shit in October, but I definitely think it's going to take a shit in October. Like, we will see it on the trends.
Well, yeah, Hanger's right. Nothing stimulates a failing economy like a war, so they might be pushed to that. It's been a minute since we've had a big one.
Yeah,
I mean that's why we're pushing for Iran.
This little 18-year thing in Afghanistan sure is insignificant.
Well, I don't think the people that push for war care about the economy because they're always paid.
Yeah.
Just trying to line
actually, they're paid better when there is war. So the people that push for war, it benefits them.
Yeah,
war is, they're just trying to line their own pockets.
It's part of it's part of social. It's like part of social engineering.
War is a racket.
Absolutely.
Social.
Let me say that once every 2 episodes. So there it is.
It's worth saying.
Just like 1984. We'll get to that one later, but for now.
And Switzerland and Belle Delphine.
And cops. Always cops. So, I mean, does that bring us up to present, or is there anything else, like, sort of...
Well, no. He recently came around. We need to hear that whole thing.
I guess the Instagram thing, like, getting into preaching and, like, the whole sort of final...
Yeah, what made you start the Instagram? What made you start being radical on social media?
Oh, when I started this Instagram, it was basically just going to be some military humor.
Yeah.
And I would just share, like, raunchy memes, maybe try to get kicked off Instagram. But
bro vet kind of shit.
Right, yeah. And then the Parkland shooting happened, and Trump was like, well, yeah, we're going to maybe look into red flag laws and things like that, and the bump stock ban. Oh, it must have been before that, because the bump stock ban started after the Vegas shooting. So I started to get a little iffy when that happened, and I preached a little bit.
Wait, hold up.
But definitely after Parkland.
What was your take on the Vegas shooting?
It sounds like a fucking NM240. It doesn't sound like a bump stock.
Thank you. All right, great.
Oh yeah.
It cycles what
belt
six
for sure.
600 rounds a
Yeah,
minute.
it's too slow. It's not a bump stock.
Fed. Yeah, belt and too consistent. Belt fed. You know, it's just like
Yeah, there's no hiccups like you would have in a bump stock.
Those things are pieces of shit when you see people shoot them. No way.
And I kind of felt stupid defending them, but I
you have to.
Yeah, they're dumb
if they
as
take
fuck,
a bump
but
stock,
you got to defend
if they
them.
take a bump stock, they'll take a regular stock.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
they'll take your bolt carrier group and your firing pin, and they just won't stop. That's a good way to start dismantling a gun that you want off the street. And out of the hands of citizens.
They're gonna be like, yeah, you can use firing pins, but they gotta be made out of ice.
Right.
So,
your barrel, it has to be made out of aluminum foil. Good luck. Yeah, stupid. So, I really started paying attention to Men of Arms, and he was going on about how it was unconstitutional, and I was like, goddamn right. So I followed his lead, really. I just started shitting on Trump, and I got a lot of hate, but I fought through it. And then
here's an important one. Oh wait, sorry. Were you?
Go ahead.
So the 2016 election, that was after you were out, right?
I got out. I only had a 3-year enlistment. I had a pretty sweet contract.
Nice. That's fucking lucky. I know people who got stuck with much worse. Yeah. So Trump, like, when you saw him? Because when I saw him from England, I was like, oh, sweet. You know, that's the Second Amendment safe. This guy clearly knows. He's clearly going to be actively for the Second Amendment. We got suppressors. They're going to be fucking fully legalized. National reciprocity. I was like, I thought he was going to be a big saving grace for it. And I don't know if you had the same sort of... Yeah. So were you like, how were you during the 2016 election? Were you sort of still hanging on to maybe there's one Republican who's worth a shit, or were you just already disillusioned?
Well, I mean, I kind of wanted Cruz. No, I really didn't care either way because it was going to come down to Trump. And he says that he's pro-gun, but his whole life he's been a vocal Democrat.
All right, you were
so, I don't know, to have people like turn around so quick. Like it's on camera, it's on video.
Yeah.
Like it's not something you couldn't just look up.
I remember growing up, and my dad was always voted Democrat, and he had a book from Trump about how Trump wanted to be president. And he's like, hey, I think he'd be a good Democratic president. And then just out of nowhere, like,
I'm a Republican.
Yeah. We were all kind of shocked, but then, I don't know, the Republicans started latching on to him.
Totally.
After they kind of resisted, they were like, oh, he's too wild. We can't have that.
He's not very Christian.
Like, well,
he goes, I'm Christian. Everyone's like, yes, Daddy.
He went to church one time.
Yeah.
Best move.
Fox News showed it for 24 hours, and everyone's like, oh, look how Christian he is.
Daddy.
Look at his stripper fucking wife and
his third stripper wife.
His third
and now he has a cult following. People who cannot get off the tit. Yeah, I just I guess the 2016 election to me was anyone but Hillary. But now
the beginning of the shit show, you knew you're like, I'm picking between Trump and Hillary. Hillary's the worst ever. Yeah, and that was your only options. Gone.
I knew we were screwed. It's only going to get worse. It's going to be so divided.
Well, and now we've got into this like tribalistic revenge culture where it's like, well, you elected this guy, so I'm going to elect this person. I'm going to really fuck up your side, and it's been like that since.
Well, it was that election that made me
Reagan.
look back at the other ones, and I'm like, man, it's always kind of been like this.
Yep, it's always just like, well,
it's just getting worse and worse and worse.
But it's not even to a point where they they even particularly the principles just don't fucking matter anymore. The colors don't matter.
They
It's
don't
just
care about lying to
owning
your
the other
face and then
side.
doing the opposite thing. They don't care about that. They lie and they're like, "Oh yeah, that didn't happen," and they blame it on the other party.
It's all just.
It's like a
fully
flow chart,
cult-
dude. It just goes in a circle.
Full cult of personality mode.
Right. It's
So, I guess that kind of leads us nicely into we are 5 years being very, very fucking optimistic from some serious shit happening within this country.
No way it'll take that long.
I know.
I don't think
know.
so.
I'm being
Yeah, we
ultra conservative with that number, but
we're
it's gonna
hauling
happen.
ass to the end right now.
And it wasn't too long ago. I was wondering. I'm like, well, I even see it.
Yeah.
I even see it. And
Yeah.
now I'm like, man,
a lot of people gave up. They were
I'm
like,
like, keep
we're
preparing,
never gonna
keep
have
preparing, dude. Oh shit.
any kind of insurrection or rebellion, but it's more real now than it ever has been. It's imminent at this point.
I come from a long line. Like I wanted anarchy and dismantle of the government for like a couple decades. So like when I was young and rebellious, like I was all about it and couldn't find no one else. So then I finally worked my way up to the Instagram thing where I'm like, wow, there's actually people that think like me.
It's
so
surprising.
like, and then I'm like, you know what? It still might not happen. It still might not happen. And then recently I'm like, oh shit, it's
I need to buy plates.
It's coming, dude. Yeah. Go have enough food.
I think the whole eMilitia now has like
It's not-
plates, apart from Anglo.
Yeah.
Just the last like month or so, I think we've all gone out and got shit.
And AR500 on Instagram has been posting the spiciest Boogaloo memes, so hit them up for your armor.
They really know their market. I mean,
Oh, truly.
but,
I'd like to see their books to see if they're outselling the civilians over law enforcement. They have to be. They have to be, right?
I fucking hope so. But
I would think so because steel armor is substantially cheaper than ceramics.
yeah. Thank fuck there's no rivers around me to swim through. BR would be dead in 6 minutes.
I don't think you can handle the fucking gun he wants to shoot.
What?
What?
What's the gun? What's the gun he's always saying he wants? He's like, I'm not coming over unless someone gives me the.
Oh, me, the FAL.
Oh yeah, he wants a 7.62 boy.
Yeah, FAL will go home. And I actually looked the other day. There's a website here that sells full body armor kit, a proper plate carrier, and soft and hard armor. It's ridiculously expensive, but I had no idea you could actually get your hands on it. It'd be no
Really?
because you've got no way of shooting back, but you can get it.
I worked at a fucking gun store, but I didn't know anything about personal body armor for civilians in England.
Yeah, there's one
I
website
think
I
it's
found.
a bunch of phone books.
Yeah,
It's expensive because no one has a phone book anymore.
Is it like 800 quid for a set of plates or something?
I don't know if it's that dear, but something like 600. Yeah.
Fuck me. I mean,
yeah, but it's there. That surprised me enough.
I mean, M&P 1522s were selling for like 950 quid at my shop.
Uh-huh.
So, for people who know their guns, you know that's fucking outrageous if you look up the exchange rate. Jesus Christ.
It's probably like $1,100.
Gonna be sick of my mouth. I sold at least 10 of those to some poor fucks while I worked there. Jesus Christ, and they were so thankful. We are off topic. But yeah, so people have been saying to me for ages, like, when's the Boogaloo going to happen? As if the whole eMilitia, and I'm sure POG as well, has like a fucking button we could just click and it kicks off. But I was saying to people, like, I don't know, it might happen within our lifetimes, maybe not, maybe it'll be 100 years from now. But we're getting there. And now it's like, if it takes 5 years to kick off, that's fucking nuts.
But you know what? The plan, if you were an accelerationist, you used to vote Democrat. I honestly think if you vote in Trump again in 2020, you'll have
a better chance of getting it on the next day. Election, November 3rd, November 4th, it's on.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, right, confiscations, let's do this shit. We're gonna make America great again.
MAGA hats everywhere.
Yeah. Yes, Daddy, take my gun.
MAGA hats are the new camouflage.
Was it Pete King today that came out in support for the assault weapons?
Oh yeah, I just listed that motherfucker. We need an actual tyrant registry. I mean, he's a New York Republican, so no one's surprised. But
as soon as you make a list, you go higher on their list.
Yeah,
like you're not on the meme list. You're on the dude making a list.
That's fine. Fuck it. Let's just keep ramping it up. Let's just keep ramping it up.
BATFEM on Instagram has a tyrant list.
Oh, really?
He actually has exactly what you're talking about. I absolutely think so. Remember seeing someone post it. I think it was him. But he really doesn't.
I've been saying we just doxed the fuck out of him.
I've been talking to Rational Rebel about this a little bit because he's kind of a tech nerd. I was like, we need some sort of like open source Excel sheet where we can just fucking list people's addresses in the same way they want to list gun owners' addresses and like register us. Let's register them. Fuck them.
And then hand it out at gun shows.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Like spread it like propaganda over North Korea. Just
you don't even need to do that.
Would be shocked to see like Dan Crenshaw and Trump on that list. They would be like, well, hold on, wait a minute.
Oh,
you
yeah,
don't
you
even
sure
need to
about
go
this?
that far though. Just print off their voting history, and that will just make people go, "What the fuck?"
Oh, I want to be like full fledged. Where you include the voting history, you include like shit if you can. You know, just treat them the same way they want to treat us. Just fucking subject them to authoritarian bullshit and breaches of privacy, and put it all in a nice list and just.
You mean use the state against them? Isn't
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
Yeah,
against all our principles?
Absolutely, I'm nothing if not fair.
Well, they certainly should strip the security detail after lifetime and all that bullshit.
Jesus!
Like
we fund a good lifestyle for them.
How about when you are elected and you're a public servant, you just kind of keep in mind that when you're no longer a protected class of people, someone might actually just string your ass up and you act accordingly.
I mean, that's constitutionally protected, arguably.
Yeah, that's 100% constitutionally protected. I'm not going to apologize either. Fuck them. But that's just what it comes down to. Like all of these protections, and they build themselves into this protected class of society. None of the rules that they make for us apply to them. And that shit is just fucking. I mean, if that's not tyrannical, if that's not like evidence and like painted, highlighted, chartreuse yellow, like what the fuck else is, man? Like, wait a minute.
Well, that rant makes me believe that anarchists and collapsitarians will not be a thing in a year or two. It'll just be either anarchist or collapsitarian. Because you're just going 100%. You're like, it's coming.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, like you said that earlier, and I think people really are seeing it's not. We cannot vote ourselves out of this. I was saying to someone today in some comments like, we have voted Republican who would preserve our gun rights, and now they're the ones taking them away.
Vote harder, Daddy. Vote harder.
Tread on me.
Well,
yeah.
I don't think that in itself is going to do it. But the economic collapse on top of that,
shit's gonna get Mad Max.
It takes a lot of ingredients to make a cake,
Yeah,
I think hungry masses. Oh, that sounds like a boo.
What up?
What just happened?
You still here?
I'm still here.
Okay, good. Yeah, like a lot of ingredients to make a cake is quite right, because I mean, armed people bitching about being infringed upon is one thing, but the second there's actual real world impacts to everyone's life through a fucked up economy, that's going to be a real bad time to enforce confiscations, because the Katrina confiscations happened before the age of information, where you could just spread it in 24 hours and be like, this is fucked up, look at what they're doing. Nowadays, a massively connected Second Amendment community and all that kind of thing
could mobilize.
Yeah. I mean, we might see the same kind of Bundy Ranch standoff type deal with confiscations.
All right.
I hope we do. And
it would be awesome if we did. Like, I'm gonna say it, I'm not gonna cut you off, but like, dude, like I tagged gun policy, and like a bunch of dudes in kind of a post on the subject. None of them even responded. It was kind of comical, man.
I did something like that, and gun policy liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I posted
from
on gun policy.
Big fat fuck or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love saying IG names and out loud. You're just like, oh Jesus Christ, we're all adults here.
I guess moral or what I'm trying to say with my little quick rant is that like gun policy and all these advocacy groups, asking us for money is getting old, and like it's kind of time to maybe start actually like formulating some organizing some actual like
displays,
building bunkers and buying ammo.
I want to chime in on
whatever
this.
you want to call it. I mean,
100%.
I guess, like, the crazy lefties can get millions of people to show up across the country wearing pussy hats and doing all kinds of stupid shit. Like, we can't get 10% of the patriots to show up in a kit ready to show people like what's up, like how close we actually are. Like, it's kind of like discouraging, especially when, like I said, I get emails from those guys like all the time asking for more money.
Daily for more money.
I mean, I've sent them at this point I've sent them over $1,000, and it's like, I make suggestions and that shit just gets brushed off, and it's like a real suggestion at this point. Like, no, you ask me for money daily. How about we talk about some actual action instead of like talking about these lawyers? That shit we've done nothing but lose
decades
of
losing
like
fucking legal
90. Yeah, about 90 years we've lost that way. Like, maybe it's about time we try something different. Like imagine your infant sitting there with like the little toy, where you put the different shapes in the different block. Imagine watching them try to put the star shape into the square hole. 90 years.
I'd be wondering what my kid had. But
I want to chime in on this one.
Please do.
For operator time was he actually converted me to that thinking. I was like, you know what? Goddamn, you're right. Because he calls it Netflix subscription activism. Just donating money to our activist groups, and then we don't really do anything afterwards. We just rely on them completely to fight it in court. But the reality is, once it's a law and it's in court and we're fighting a battle, we've already lost. It's already been lost.
Done. Well, not only that, but like that's the whole concept and the whole thing of government as it is. Like, we just delegate the dirty work out that we don't want to do. We just say, we assign a value, a percentage, and we just pay somebody else to do that.
Well, what do they say? Don't fight the officer, take it to court.
Yeah, fuck that.
No, and then everyone gets fucked in court. Like, we do it with the little stuff and we do it with the big stuff.
When people get all
we choose to fight our battles against a corrupt system by using the corrupt system. What? This doesn't make any sense.
Or how about I'll just fight that shit at its source, like at the person who's actually violating me, And if I happen to get to walk away, I'll plead my case,
And we don't. We have the Second Amendment. We don't have to.
What is it? Better judged by 12 than carried by 6?
Fucking A right, Like, I guess if that's, if that's
you're on something here. We're about to see a real culture shift in our community. A lot of people aren't on board with this idea yet, but they're like, I feel like once we get the right people preaching that message, they're going to be like, oh, okay, well, if he thinks so, maybe.
My only real fear, and I've had a couple people like hit me in the DMs and talk about it. My only real fear with that is we would have no way to truly regulate, like I guess, CIA operatives or whoever else coming there and acting in ways that we wouldn't want to represent our community. And there's no way to really know that we wouldn't have some psycho in there out there marching with us, ready to fucking do something that, you know, would be against our, you know, I guess our rules of engagement, or however we wanted to establish that or organize that. There's no way to keep them from sending in a Vegas shooter, a Sandy Hook shooter, you know, whoever else it is to come in here and do some shit that's I guess that's
it just hurts our cause.
That's the only real argument that I've had against it, and that I've been able to, like, you know, think, okay, well, that does hold some weight. You know, like, we wouldn't be able to, like, genuinely know that we wouldn't get sabotaged. But I don't know. That's the only alternative, like, or only argument that I've had to, like, us just going out and showing that, you know, we really do have 400 times more firearms than the law enforcement community, and 100 times more military, and, you know, like, we've been cucked out for the last 90 years, and maybe ready to change that.
Not only no more gun laws, but we want the shit back that's already been taken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to repeal the NFA. Fucking recreational nukes. and be able to protect ourselves like the Second Amendment was intended.
Like, I'd probably be cool with some mortars. Maybe a howitzer or something, but, like, I'd be cool with some mortars.
All that shit.
I'm not a glamorous man. I don't need giant tanks and whatever.
Size mortar. 81 millimeter.
So on the topic of, like, agitators and stuff, a lot of people, they message me and they're like, why aren't we already formulating some massive militia? There's enough of us. But, I mean, as we see constantly in all these kind of, like, tribalistic, Antifa, Proud Boy kind of rallies, there will always be agitators that are so clearly not organic, you know? There's always someone sent in to... And it's documented as well throughout the various political movements.
I've exposed
Like-
a couple of those. I've exposed a couple of those in, like, those Antifa rallies where a couple of cops that I've put out their story, like, they were sent in there by their department, or they were just doing it rogue, but they were going in there instigating shit in the middle of those rallies and those protests, or whatever you'd like to call it. You know, it's proven, it's documented. They do that shit. Whether it's local law enforcement or whether it's CIA, that shit happens.
Well, I mean, even the ATF is. I mean, they've always, and they even proudly document it on their website as a tactic they use to infiltrate American radical militias, aka militias doing their fucking job, and which is so fucking radical these days. But they've proudly documented infiltrating them, and it's like, this is why we can't have anything until after the initial catalyst, because it will be corrupt as fuck before we even press go. You know, like, well, you can't start.
People
any
ask
kind
me,
of
like,
thing.
a lot of people ask me, like, well, we should start a militia. How do I find one, or would you want to join one?
Facebook's a really good way.
I just tell them, you don't join a militia with people you don't know.
Absolutely.
Did everybody forget Randy Weaver? That's how they got him.
People don't learn from history. They don't pay attention to how these things turn out. And there's no
Most people don't even know who Randy Weaver is.
We all do, but yeah.
Yeah, most people, you bring that up and they're like, what?
I think
Timothy McVeigh
might be a better example of that, you know, even, like, because I think he ended up more or less getting sold out by a militia up, you know, in Michigan, that he showed up to a couple of, like, their meetings and talked about, like, kind of planted the seed, like, on some of the things that he was going to do. And I think they ended up cooperating with feds after Oklahoma.
3%ers.
So then,
typical.
I don't know. Yeah, you really got to know who about to join up with and who you're about to trust. You know,
I forgot that piece of shit. Anglo was here.
Thanks. I'll see myself out.
Oh. But yes, so many people they think that you can just join one of these Facebook militias and you're set, and it's like, no, you will be the first to be fucking red flagged. That your buddies are gonna show up wearing a fucking sheriff's badge with a gun in your face at 2 a.m. and it's gonna really suck.
Right.
You're like, John, what are you doing? I'm not John. I'm Officer Dick. Get the fuck on the floor. Oh, is that nice dog you got there? We know
That
how
sounds like
that
the start to a dodgy movie.
Well, I have directed some very good, very high quality ATF pornos. Very, very niche, but popular within our circles.
Go ahead and email that to me.
I got
Send
some
the
clips
link.
here, guys. I've been meaning to
Fax
share
it to me.
Yeah, go ahead and fax that over to the eMilitia HQ.
I'm not sure how it's going to look in fax, but I promise it will be at least 5% of 30s.
We'll put it up on the wall in the lobby.
But,
By the water cooler. Coffee pot.
My main point with this whole round, I say it so often, is, there's no clean-cut answer to how do we organize. Like, it sucks. But we're in the information age. Everything is fucking bugged. This shit, we're using a fucking bot to record us that I don't know what it does. This is mainlined right into the NSA, I'm sure. Fuck it, who knows?
He meant to say we're using the NSA to make this podcast.
Which really makes them makes it a part of it. They're what's the word?
Yo, I don't trust Craig.
They're
I'll be honest.
accessories.
We're doing
They're
it for free
accessories.
though, so at least our government our tax money's going somewhere.
Yeah, Fedbot's pretty dodgy, but anyway.
Is that thing's name actually Craig?
It is Craig. I renamed it Fedbot, but
Okay. But his name is Craig.
His name is Craig.
Is it recording who's talking, or is it just the audio?
It records everyone as a different audio channel. It's really high tech shit.
Oh, Jesus.
I know.
You might not. You might not get it.
I might not. They might just mainline it to the NSA and then keep it from me. But anyway, my main thing is everyone wants this clean-cut answer of, oh, we'll just organize, we'll just click a button and everyone will be on the same fucking voice chat. And we'll say, right, let's all meet here and let's fight the government. And it's the way this thing is shaping up, it's going to be so fucking messy. Think Syria, but then with the complicated factional divides that this country sees in its everyday politics. And then some.
Well, that's basically just Ukraine.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you have just all this nationalistic, ethno-based stuff. You have you'll have the cop supporting right who are so fucking lost. You'll have the anti-government types. I mean, there will be so many factions. It makes your head spin, and yeah, it's
possibly international intervention.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have seen the breakdown, where it's, the Russians supposedly it's in their doctrine to support an American revolution, a second American revolution. Indirectly though, through like ordnance and such. I mean, if they want to drop me a fucking AK-12, I'm cool with that. I will accept it, I guess, even though AKs are shit.
If it lands in front of me, I'm not gonna not use it.
But people think it's going to be like a 6 months, like let's get back before Christmas kind of deal. It would be years. Look at Ukraine. Ukraine is going to be fucked up for some time.
Well, the first revolution took like 8 years, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
surely it would only be longer this time around.
Yeah. By the first Gulf War, that it only took 4 or 5 months.
Yeah. I mean, that's all nice
about.
And clean when it's one side versus the other. But when there's so many people fighting for various different reasons, and there's going to be no figurehead, it's not like, the South versus the North.
No figurehead.
Drink some more whiskey and shut the fuck up.
I'm gone, bro.
Good. Be gone.
Nothing new there, then.
Well, normally we would be done with this podcast by now, so, I'm hungover.
But somebody.
It is true. We would be done.
You can't be hungover and drunk at the same time. It's impossible.
All right.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Here I am. No, I'm not hungover, but I'm at the end of my intoxication journey, where you just feel like shit. That's where I am, because started drinking at like 6:30, prepping for this shit, roughly 6 hours ago, and then I go fucked off. So
Guns. It is possible for us to do a podcast without you getting hammered.
I don't know if it is at this point.
At this point, I consider it a good luck charm.
tradition,
But anyway,
tradition, Gramps.
to
Mm-hmm.
painfully drag us back on topic, the last time we talked about any kind of like big Boogaloo event was the second episode, and I guess it would be kind of good to get, now that we've had such a big wake up call with it looking so fucking close. What's everyone think? If shit kicked off, say a month's time, how do you think this thing is going to go?
Boy, I mean,
Why'd it kick off?
really not good.
What was the turning point?
All right,
was it economically related? Was it Second Amendment related? Because if it was Second Amendment related, that's totally different, dude. Like, that's like people actually standing up for their rights.
All right,
for the bug, dude.
Let's say federal red flag laws, and we've seen this guy. I don't know his name, but this guy gets fucking red flagged for a meme that he reposted. He didn't create it. He reposted a meme, had his guns fucking taken, and they're calling him a mass shooter because he had banned magazines. So if we followed through with non-compliance and then our fucking meme history, all of a sudden we're all potential white supremacist mass shooters.
Yeah. As soon as they ban something,
I don't think that'll ever
and
start
that gives
it.
them grounds
I think
for an
they'll
arrest.
just slowly arrest people.
Just
for a while. I don't think
Keo,
anyone will ever stand up.
What's up, Gramps?
We need we have an immediate opening in the eMilitia for a person of color or anyone outside of pure Caucasian.
We need a woman. We need somebody that's not white.
Yeah, so everyone knows that.
That we cool.
All right, go on. Moving on. Sorry.
Or we could just keep Craig because he's a Fed.
And I mean, he's a robot, so he could be any color we want.
We can try and get him to defect.
We're transhuman now.
There you go.
We're not gonna make the robot our token. Don't do that.
I'm not above that. Hang on.
I don't know, man. That's like if you're gonna go token, get a real token. Don't get a robot. That's insulting.
So, I guess seeing as we have a guest, we may as well ask his opinion. We're like of the bigger question here. So Pogue, like, I know the collapsitarian thing. You're ready to fucking go. Like, where do you think we're at?
Well, if they start red flag confiscation on a federal level, I feel like the Boogaloo is just going to be people in their own homes just defending the farm,
Yeah,
like little Wacos, and then hopefully your neighbors take notice and they join in and they give you some cover fire.
It's little Waco.
It just escalates.
Coming in with a new track. Fuck the police.
Economically, I couldn't tell you. That's an Anglo subject there.
What was it? I missed that.
An economic collapse, an economic boogaloo.
Well, surely they could both happen at the same time, because a recession is looking to be soon. That doesn't mean a collapse, but when you've been using quantitative easing for a decade to artificially keep the economy up, an actual like big collapse is entirely possible, because the bubble is just huge. So it seems like it has that potential, and it's around about the same time they're looking to do red flag laws. So you could have both ends of the shitty stick, and then who knows what sort of situation that would create. That's for you guys to decide, but I'm saying it's entirely plausible we could have a fucking big one.
Wow, okay. So you don't show up for the podcast, now you're not going to show up for the Boogaloo.
Yeah, that's on you.
You're not hooking me up with anything else.
Like subscription activism. Just going to let the rest of the militia carry the weight.
I've made my conditions clear. FAL or bust.
Anglo's gonna be the last.
You're not
Anglo's gonna be the
pulling
last fucking surviving member. We're all gonna be like jailed and dead, and Anglo's gonna be like, yeah. So
waving the
I think
flag.
you get one on DSA for like 1,700. Would you be down for that if I bought one for you?
Hell yeah!
I showed you one that was $750.
Anglo was willing to die for
$50.
$1,700 worth of guns.
$50 on arms list.
man, I'm willing to die for much less than fucking $1,700. Fuck it.
Yeah, but like you're here, so you're gonna die regardless. Anglo's literally across an ocean. He's
Well,
good.
Bloody's gonna sell some T-shirts and get Anglo's goddamn gun.
I can do another GoFundMe.
I've got a plate carrier for you. I've got an extra. So we got that settled. We just need the yeah,
it's
dude.
fine.
Do
I
another
can get my
GoFundMe.
own carrier and armor for £900 dirt cheap.
No, fuck that. I will buy you a plate carrier and plates. Don't buy English shit. we'll get you some nice heavy steel shit.
Yeah,
I can trust it to stop a knife.
I've got you some heavy steel shit. It'll stop a knife.
Good. That's my main concern.
And hopefully acid.
Yeah,
it should stop acid.
Like, don't get it on your face, but your chest might be alright. Save those precious
I'll
nipples.
just wear one of your Liberty Punk bandanas and I'll be fine.
I'm about to buy one of those for real.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, but
Everyone
I'll
be
advertise
smiling.
it. I'd give you a free commercial on my page. But I'm thinking you need to do Anglo. I'm thinking you need to do another GoFundMe and then say, help me buy a boog gun and see what comes of it. I mean,
Instead of get Anglo a laptop, get Anglo a GAT.
Yeah, you got $1,000 for laptop and computer and microphone. So I mean, let's see what you can get for fucking FAL.
He's gonna get a knock on his door is what he's gonna get.
Oh yeah,
Men in Black hoods.
Just get a 3D printer and
well, then one of us will have to buy it. So
and a gift card to Home Depot.
The GoFundMe is gonna have to be like, help one of the eMilitia buy an FAL for Anglo when he gets here. Give us $2,000.
Pretty sure that's a felony. I mean, at this point, it doesn't fucking matter, obviously. But I'm just saying.
I actually made a meme about this.
What do they call it? When
About
you buy
being like an arms list or something that you could just send someone a gun anonymously.
Oh shit, that's dope. Well, if that's a felony, then no, we shouldn't do that. I mean,
I mean,
we should be
buying
able
it
to
for
do
someone
that.
else. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I respect the law.
That's actually the name of this
freedom as long as it's
podcast.
legal.
This podcast is called
It's really painful for you to say. It's just
Yeah, there was no remorse in his voice. I think we found the Fed.
Oh shit, they know.
When the bot is actually more of a libertarian than you. the fucking Fed bot. So, I mean, this whole podcast was a lot less nihilistic than I thought it was.
It was a disaster as well.
How long has this been going for?
Well,
So,
Because obviously I don't know.
How long
We
have we
don't-
been on here? We've been
I don't
on here
know.
since like 9.
so this podcast at the minute, 1 hour 12.
Okay.
But how long have I been sitting here? How long have we been trying?
Oh,
to
is
figure
this
out
where
the
we
podcasting
get
and
into Anglo?
podcasting? Yeah.
You've been getting
Oh,
shit
you
faced
piece
since
of
6:30,
shit.
so don't
You
even
fucking
try.
piece of shit.
Come fucking fight me.
So,
oh,
so
He
oh,
will. This
Oh.
dude's from Ohio. He has no remorse. Barely has a soul.
Badlands up there.
Half a step away.
I
from
have
the
less
ginger.
of a soul than the ginger.
Ooh, what did I just say?
Ooh, they're turning on
Them's-
each other now.
them's be fighting words.
It's fine. Oh.
So rather than a nice clean summary, we're just gonna like squabble and then I'll just like cut it.
Yeah, and remember,
Hey,
guys.
you can't fight me now. You can't fight me now because I'm an anarchist. I'm one of you lot now.
Yeah.
No, I can still
That's
fight
a
you.
new thing since the
There's
last
fight each
nothing
other all
against
the time.
anarchists that we can't fucking get in a hillbilly brawl.
Yeah.
Do I have to
That
say
is
the
like-
line now? Because this whole thing is just leading up to it.
Say a line. Yeah, just go ahead and say a line. Yeah.
Pull up, bitch.
Thanks for watching, people. This has been episode 12 of the eMilitia podcast with POG Actual. If you like listening to him, check out his own podcast that he's just started, Metal Meet the Militia, on the YouTube video, we'll link that down below or probably on the screen somewhere. And then on Spotify, I'll find some way to link it if I can. And if not, just search for Metal Meets the Militia on YouTube. Subscribe to that. Subscribe to this if you haven't already. Follow on Spotify to make sure you get updated every time we upload something new. And yeah, so next week we've got our third guest episode, which will be with Empress of Meme, and we will be discussing the basics of agorism, memes, and more. You might be binging, so that might be either up in a few seconds, or it'll be out next week. Either way, I have covered my ass. Anyway, thanks for watching, people. I'll see you next time.